This is very important, Baby Doge Army. You should definitely be paying attention to the price of Baby Dogecoin today. And I'm going to tell you why inside of this video. And it might not be exactly why you think it is. Anyways, we're going to get started with this. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you want me to go over next. Hit the like button and subscribe, all that good stuff. But let's go over this because it's very important that you do realize this. So, you definitely want to pay attention to the price of Baby Doge today. And one of the main reasons here is because, yes, as we are pulling down, we may see lower prices, but then you may get some bullish fake outs that I like to call them. And the reason why I call them that is because it may look like we're about to just go parabolic, right? And then we just get rejected right at some random times. And a lot of people did not expect us to get rejected at this 1400 level right here, and that's 8Z14. But if you would have looked back here at the previous resistance for Baby Doge, you would also see that that was actually critical resistance for Baby Doge back inside of the earlier days. And by that, I mean the beginning of 2023, that was actually a major resistance point for us. We're only actually bullish once we get past 8Z1400. And then after that, we have to then get past 8Z1600 because that's also a major resistance point for Baby Doge. And then from there, we're up from there. We can actually continue to rise if we do that. But until we get past that 1600 point, it's looking like we're bearish. So it's very important to pay attention to the price of Baby Doge today because of that. Because if you actually look at this now, we're actually still projected to continue to decrease in our price. But after that, it's going to look like we're going to be bullish for a little bit. So you may see it go a bit down all the way back down here. It was just 8Z1070. We may even go all the way down to here, which is 8Z1025, and possibly even down to here, which is 9Z9. But from there, you're going to end up seeing something very, very different than what we just now talked about. Because if you go ahead and look at this chart here, it looks slightly different. Yes, we may pull back down to these levels down here, and that will be us touching the momentum wave band, by the way, because the key here is just to touch the momentum wave band. We don't necessarily have to go far below the momentum wave band. We just have to touch it, because remember, back here we actually touched the momentum wave band. We didn't go far below it. We only touched it back inside of July, right? Same thing back here inside of early July, we only touched it. Same thing back here inside of June, we actually went deep into the momentum wave band, and then we only touched it back here inside of May. So sometimes you only have to touch those momentum wave bands to actually have your bullish movements upwards, right? Now, the momentum wave bands just shows where the momentum is heading inside of the crypto. It shows where the momentum is heading, and also acts as a support level, right? The support level was down here. The momentum was heading downwards. That's the momentum wave band inside a nutshell. So if we do go down here, we only technically have to touch it, right? And that could be at 8Z1070. And this is important to watch and pay attention to, because if you go back here and you look at the 15M chart, and we actually go back here and touch that momentum wave band, well, that could be at 8Z1100, right? And that's 1100 flat. Or we could end up going all the way down to about 8Z1080 and really just almost to about 1070, or even inside of 1070, and then having that increase. The reason why I mention this is because if you look up here, you can see these green lines right here are really acting as some resistance areas for us. It's pretty much showing that if we were to rise, these areas are the areas where we would stop at first. Obviously, it would be this one here, which is 1190, and then we could also have this where we stop at again, which is going to be around 1240, getting out to 1250. So I mentioned that because if you look at the previous chart over here on the 4-hour chart, you can see that those were actually the beginnings of our pretty much bullish areas where we have these resistance lines at. So you can see that they're also here, but they're shown as red, meaning that they're pretty much where we are going to get rejected at, whereas the other one is showing that's where we're going to be getting our momentum. So it's important to just pay attention to these levels here, these key levels with Baby Doge, because yes, as we go down, we are looking a little bit bearish here, but inside the meantime, we could see some temporary bullish movements once we finally touch these momentum wave bands. So once we finally touch this, we may see a temporary rise inside of Baby Doge, even inside of Bitcoin. And then from there, we could still see a drop here that people don't want to see. And the reason why I'm mentioning Bitcoin is because Bitcoin does matter a whole lot when you're dealing with any crypto, because everything essentially is following Bitcoin. If you look at the 4-hour chart here on Bitcoin, it's definitely showing that Bitcoin still looks like it's about to have some type of rise, right? It still looks like it's going to be bullish. And if you look at this, the RSI could easily cross like it's doing now. You can see the RSI crossing. It could easily cross and go on the downside, touch the support, and then go back up and then look bullish again, and then go back up to the top of that momentum wave band, where from there it's pretty much going to be a resistance area for us. Now, you can see the momentum wave band here is going downwards. We're having this downward movement here, so that's downward momentum. And if we get all the way up there, we could easily get rejected at 27K and continue to go down. So it might look like it's bullish temporarily, but it's still ultimately bearish. And that's the same thing here with Baby Doge. The market in general is looking bearish, right? Even if you look at the 15M chart here, we're still going to pull back down here to the mid to lower 25K areas, right? And that's on the 15M chart. It's still going to pull back down to the mid to lower 15K areas, or 25K areas, I'm sorry. And then from there, that's when we're probably going to end up seeing the increase in our price. So, we pull back down to the sub 25K levels, and then we have some more increase doing a bullish fake out like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, and then another pullback from there. So that's what I'm worried about here. That's why I believe that it's very important to pay attention to this, because even if you look at the 1 week chart, like, this is one of the most telling charts on the planet. If you look at the 1 week chart, this is very, very, very telling. So we could have a temporary increase. Look, first look at the RSI. Look at how the RSI is kind of bottoming out, right? The RSI looks like it's bottoming out, and then from there, the RSI is pretty much going to start to cross up and go to the top, right? It's bottomed out, it's about to cross, and it's about to go to the top. Cool. So if the RSI is about to cross and then hit the top area over there, what you want to pay attention to is what happens next after that. Because look, if we do cross down here on the bottom of the RSI, it's going to have that temporary increase, right? And it's not going to be like a huge increase like that. It's probably going to be more like this, cross and slight increase. But since it's a 1 week chart and it's very long term, it's probably going to look like a bigger increase than it really is. So it'll probably go all the way up here to about 27K, like we were mentioning on the previous. And that was pretty much us looking at the momentum wave bands on the 4-hour chart. It could go up to 27 to 28K, right? And then it could pull back down from there. And see, the problem is when it does pull back down, what is this showing us? On the technical indicators here for Chart Prime, it's pretty much showing us that when we pull back down, we're pulling back down to 20K. So that's why it's very important to pay attention to the price of Baby Doge today, as well as Bitcoin. Because if you see this price and see how this movement is going, look at how that momentum is now curving downwards. That momentum is now slowing down. That momentum is now curving downwards. So we looked like we were bullish, right? All this time here, we were very, very bullish. But the second we broke out of this triangle, this wedge pattern, it shows that's the second that we started to go bearish. Now that we're out of that pattern. And just for a brief moment here, I'm going to delete all of this just so you can really see that. Look at how when we broke out of that pattern, we just started to go down on a downtrend, right? We were on a nice uptrend, but the second we came and broke out of this pattern, that's when our downtrend began. And that's what it's looking like here. So it's looking like the downtrend has begun, and you definitely would want to pay attention to that, because anything can happen from here. It's very, very important to pay attention to this on these charts. And if you even look at it from the 4-hour perspective, the 4-hour chart perspective, you're still seeing like we were on a nice uptrend here. But what did I say before? The second we broke out of that uptrend and started that downtrend, that's pretty much what we started to do. We started to do the downtrend the second that we went below that uptrend line. So it's very important to look at. But anyways, moving on from these technicals, just looking at some other stuff here with Baby Doge, we're up. We're down a little bit today, 3.9%, but our 24-hour trading volume is looking decent. It's at 1.5 million. So shout out to the Baby Doge Army for that. And our holders is a little bit stagnant right now, but we're still doing very good. That's still 2,000 holders within 2 weeks, which is still decent. And then you can see over here, they're still teasing the AI image generator that's coming out on the 19th. So that's pretty big. Still waiting for that. And that could affect the price a little bit. We may see an increase in price temporarily, but it's still important to pay attention to the price, because even though it's temporary, it doesn't mean it's going to continue to stay up. You know, just like this little increase that we had here, that was temporary. They teased the AI generator, and that caused us to increase. They also teased the 5 quadrillion burn, which also caused us to increase. So leading up to that, we could see another slight increase, but it'll probably be followed by another decrease. That's the same thing with Bitcoin. So that's probably what we'll see. Now, as for KuCoin is now doing another giveaway with Baby Doge, which is 2,000 USDT this time. It says we've partnered up with Baby Doge to round 6 of our monthly mega giveaway. Share over 2 trillion Baby Doge. That's roughly 2,000 USDT. And 20 winners is pretty much what there's going to be. And to participate, all you got to do is follow KuCoin, Baby Dogecoin, and Baby Dogecoin Swap. Like, give them a retweet, tag 3 friends, fill out that form, and boom, you are done. So it's very simple. You just come over here, you fill out this little form here, and go ahead and give them their little the retweet, and tag 3 friends inside of that post. Fill out your little form here, and then boom, you're done. You just put your KuCoin ID, your Twitter username, and paste your URL of the comment over there. And since it's going to be 20 winners, all you would have to do is 2,000 divided by 20, and that would be $100 per person. So that's fairly decent, honestly. And if you look at it, 750 reposts. So you have about out of 750 people, and out of all the people that liked and reposted it, how many of them actually filled out the form and tagged 3 friends? Well, you can kind of make a little bit of guess about that, about seeing how many people quoted the tweet. Only 93 people quoted it, so only 93 people, not even all of them actually tagged their friends. So it's less than 93 people right now, and there's 20 winners. So you can look at that, and now you can kind of see, like, you have a good chance of winning this, because not everybody's following the rules here properly. It's ending in 5 days. I'm probably going to end up doing it after this. I'm going to go ahead and end up putting all my stuff in there, tagging 3 people, getting that done, and then going in and filling that out so I can get $100, right? Go ahead and do that, because not a lot of people are following the rules properly. Only less than 93 is following the rules properly, actually. But anyways, moving on from that, Baby Doge Swap looking a little bit decent right here. It's still at 14 million, 76.99K inside of the total 24-hour volume here for Baby Doge Swap. And like, I've been trying to mention this to people. I want to start out a new thing here. I want to start a new farm. Go ahead and go to my Twitter and scroll down a little bit. You'll end up seeing that I did post on Twitter mentioning that we're gonna have some farms here. I just need some donations here for the official farm that we're gonna start, which is gonna be a Baby Doge to Augie farm. So if you guys want to go ahead and do that, you can go ahead and do that now if you want, and then yeah, it'll be cool. But go ahead and check that out. The post is on Twitter, so you can find it there on Twitter. So yeah, check that out, and we can go ahead and get that done. But anyways, this is pretty much all I got for you all today. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Hit the like button and subscribe. All that good stuff. Leave a comment in the comment section. And as always, I'll be back with another video.